Dude, it runs so much deeper and it's so much darker and it's so much more controlled than I ever realized.
Well, it's all money, man. And there's so much money. I mean, it has to be one of the biggest industries in the country, right?
Oh, it is. I think HHS and even HHS, which all falls under Secretary Kennedy now, I think is between 70 and 80,000 people, right? And so when people are asking, why aren't we moving faster? Why aren't we doing this? Why aren't we doing that? It's like, you're trying to move the Titanic. There's all these divisions within HHS, the CDC, the NIH, the FDA, and it's whack-a-mole. And every day a new fire pops up. And every day you've got industry lobbying, politicking, and moving chess pieces to obstruct, delay, deny, depose, and prevent any sort of change. And you've got legacy employees. There is literally a memo at the NIH that's being circulated around about how to subvert and ignore President Trump and Secretary Kennedy's mandates, which isn't President Trump and Secretary Kennedy. It's the American people's voice. The American people voted for change. We're over the corruption. We're over the collusion. We're over the corporate capture.
And for most people that I know, this was one of the biggest factors in this administration. Like voting in Trump, one of the biggest things was getting Kennedy in there.
Same. Yeah. I believe that the Maha moms and this healthcare movement and the frustration with the broken healthcare system was a deciding factor in Trump winning this election. And my fear is if we don't keep the pressure up at these midterms, it doesn't matter Republican or Democrats. Historically, both sides have been corrupted. And both sides have made catastrophic mistakes. And if we walk through like each one of these organizations, like back to even the FDA. Okay, so most recently, I'm in Europe and I've got eyes and ears everywhere. Or you tell me where the best place to start is, because there's so much ground to cover.
Go ahead.
Okay, so Secretary Kennedy set up a meeting for me with the FDA back in January. And he said, I want you to come with an open mind, open heart. They're going to do the same. And I want you to just sit down and lay out for these folks what you've seen, what you've experienced, and help them understand what compounders, telemedicine companies, stem cell companies, regenerative medicine practices, cash pay practices across the country are experiencing because of the FDA's choices and decisions made in a vacuum. And so I went to this meeting, flew to DC, sat down with all these folks. They're taking notes. They all seemed really friendly. There was probably 8 or 9 people in the room. And I left there. And a day later, and everyone's like, how do you think it went? I said, they seemed very receptive. Like everyone was nice. Everyone smiled and everyone just seemed friendly. Hand to God, I get a call from a person at the FDA. And they say, I want you to know they're going to smile, fuck you. And I said, what? And this person said, they're going to smile, fuck you. And I go, what do you mean? They're going to smile to your face and they're going to ramrod all the things that you went in to talk to them about. So like one of the things that I wanted to talk to them about was the GLP-1s. Forget whether good or bad. Let's just shelf that for the moment. GLP-1s have their origination at the National Institute for Health.
Let's explain to people. That's Ozempic, Wegovy.
Yes, correct.
Those weight loss
all
peptides.
These blockbuster weight loss peptides. But it's bigger than them being a weight loss peptide. They fall under the category of peptides. And it's a slippery slope. Because if we allow the pharmaceutical industry to capture peptides, it will shut down all future innovation of peptides for compounding pharmacies, for telemedicine, for any of these things.
Unless they have patents on it.
Correct. And you and I talked about this the last podcast, and I was spot on. All the things I was telling you, I have now confirmed, having gone to meetings with the FDA. I sat in that meeting and I said, so what happened is Eli Lilly is now one of the largest makers of this weight loss peptide. It's essentially Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly. They have lobbied hard with the FDA to say, we can meet the needs of the American people. There is no reason why anybody should be compounding any of these peptides. They're dangerous. You guys don't inspect compounding pharmacies. There's no FDA oversight. These products are made in garages and there's no FDA ingredients in them. They're not the same product. XYZ. Just go down the list of all those narratives that they're spinning to the FDA. And when the FDA is only hearing one side of the story and 60% of their funding comes from industry, what you will see is time and time again, they side with industry. So the FDA defaulted right before to their generic answer, right before Secretary Kennedy and Donald Trump took control. They expired the exemption that was allowing compounding pharmacies to make cost-effective alternatives that patients could utilize. And this is crucial. The reason that you're seeing side effects, the reason you're seeing this cascade effect of issues is because they are not treating patients with the most efficacious dose for that patient. They're treating patients with the dosage that reimburses the highest reimbursement rate on the insurance formulary. And I can prove this. They are overdosing people literally, they're not taking the time to do the consult to educate the patient on diet, lifestyle, and nutrition. There is zero doubt that GLP-1s are overutilized in America. There's zero doubt that they should not be a frontline defense. There is zero doubt that they don't come with some sort of risk factors. But most of those risk factors are found in higher dosages. So why would you start a patient on a higher dosage? Why would you rapidly titrate them up to a higher dosage where you're causing catastrophic muscle loss? It's because it reimburses more. It's not because it's what's better for the patient. It's because it's what's better for Wall Street.
Jesus
okay.
Christ.
And then their answer is compounding pharmacies, we titrate at a lower dosage. We're unique to the patient. So what we try to do is start you at a micro dose. And then also what we do is compound it and add other peptides. So like one example of they're literally working to patent a combination of a GLP-1 and IGF-LR3. We've been making that for 5 years, like 4 years.
Say that again.
So GLP-1,
what is an IGF?
the weight loss, and IGF, insulin growth factor, LR3, time-released insulin growth factor. And the reason being, IGF preserves lean muscle mass. IGF preserves bone mineral density. IGF helps reduce visceral fat. IGF has a cascade of benefits that allow us to microdose a GLP-1 at a much lower dosage where you don't get the muscle wasting. And so this